Oh, hello, everyone. I'm coming back to you again with my audio. I just saw the news where the AJ Armstrong Jr. had a mistrial. A mistrial. At first, it was three deadlocks. So I knew with those deadlocks, it was going to be a mistrial. And I knew that they were not going to find him not guilty. I knew that because of the fact that it took too long. And if you look at some of my other videos, I said that I knew that because of the evidence that they saw, they couldn't say not guilty because it was too much evidence for them to say that. So I knew that, and the judge, I think, read off that it was a mistrial. And those jurors, as I said earlier in some of my other audios, they did not want to have that on them to send a 19-year-old young man to prison for life. They didn't want to live with that. So they want to put that on someone else. I mean, that was something they did not want to live with, no matter what, no matter if he did it or no matter what. And I did say that they were in a very difficult position because even if they said guilty, that was a position. Not guilty, that's a position. And mistrial, they put themselves in a position. But at least in this position, they didn't have to go home knowing they had sent him to prison for life. So they'd rather it be on some other jurors that could probably end up having more evidence and having the brother Josh come up. And it's just going to be a long, drawn out process, even though the judge didn't want that. But she couldn't force them to say guilty. She couldn't force them to say not guilty. Only thing she could do is declare it as a mistrial because of the fact that they could not say not guilty. They could not say that. They wouldn't say that because of all the evidence that was presented in front of them, and they did not want to be the ones to send this young man to prison for life. They'd rather it be a plea bargain, which can be offered prior to this next trial, and I understand his attorney said it will be in about a month. So again, if you look at my videos before, I said these attorneys are going to get paid some more, and to them, it's okay to have a mistrial. It's okay because they want to keep fighting and fighting and going into court as long as they're getting paid, and of course fight for him also. But they are getting paid. So now it's still on the grandparents. The grandmother wanted this over. She wanted it over. She didn't want to have to go back in court and go through all this stuff all over again. The judge didn't want it to go through all this again either. But because of all the evidence, the bullet hole in the pillow, the lead on the t-shirt, the burning of the house, the gasoline, the looking up how you bum a car, it was just too many things. And the gun that was used in the double murder case of A.J. Armstrong Jr.'s parents was their own weapon. It was an inside job. And they didn't want to be a part of sending him. It was more of that than anything. Because even the other day, I think one juror wanted to leave, and she did let him leave. They had slipped the judge a note. But it was three deadlocks. They went to the judge three times. They just wanted out. You can tell when they deadlocked the first time, it was like, well, maybe they're going to come up with a decision. Okay, the second time, something's going on here. This is a second deadlock. The third time, we just want out. They didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Bottom line. So basically, I think it was a lot of sentimental feelings in that, as it is with any parent or anybody with children. But on the other hand, people have to remember if it was their parents and somebody shot them in the head with their own weapon in their own house. So all the evidence still pointed towards AJ Jr. However, I still feel that those jurors didn't want the young man to get life in prison. That's just my thought about it. So they feel like that even if it was someone else, he still knew about it. However, life is too steep for him at the age of 19 because they probably took in consideration it could have been drugs involved or something that made him do this, even if he did it. I'm not saying he did it. As I said earlier, I'm not a juror and I am not a judge. And I wouldn't want to be in this particular case because it's still the lives of A.J. Armstrong Sr. and Dawn Armstrong, and also the life of A.J. Armstrong Jr. So the mistrial just happened tonight. The jurors just couldn't keep going on and on and on and on and on. They're ready to go home. They're tired. They already knew that they didn't want to do it. After that second time of a mistrial, I think they all knew it, but they just kind of played it out as if they were trying to do their job because they didn't want to send him to prison. I keep saying that. I can't say that enough. They didn't want to send him to prison for life. They may want him to do some time because of all the evidence they saw, but they probably feel that if he take a plea bargain and do a few years or something like that, that will be sufficient. That will be sufficient and he can move on about his young life still, possibly. So with that, I'm going to end my audio. But again, that was a mistrial. First 3 deadlocks, now mistrial for the case of A.J. Armstrong Jr. So he has more time to get his thoughts together. He had more time to spend time with his parents, his grandparents rather, and his friends. I mean, everyone was consoling him. People love him. He has so much support around him, whether he did it or not, because of the fact that, like I said, they know him and they know that even if he did it because either he was high or someone else did it that he knew. But all of the evidence points towards him, and the people just still couldn't send him to prison. They couldn't say guilty and they couldn't say not guilty. Because if they felt A.J. Armstrong Jr. was not guilty, they would have came out with it the same day after the closing arguments with no problem. And I knew that after that second deadlock, they felt that he was guilty. But they just couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. That was the hardest case, and I am so happy that I wasn't on that jury. I am so happy because I just couldn't imagine sending someone that did a crime for life in prison at the age of 19, even if I had to. I just couldn't imagine that I would have to do that. But the mistrial kind of freed them of everything, and they're still going to go home feeling bad because they didn't really do their job. Deep down inside, after seeing that evidence, they're going to feel like they didn't do justice to the murdered couple. But they did do justice to their souls. See, it's because of them, how they felt inside. And that was why it was a mistrial. So it was going to be either or. It was going to be either guilty, not guilty, or a mistrial. No one wanted to say guilty to send him away. No one wanted to say not guilty because he did it. And the mistrial was their only way out. To go home tonight and know that AJ has another chance to kind of be free out here and get his thoughts together. And possibly if they offer a plea bargain, he will have that chance before going into court again. Because I was told by an attorney that normally, like remember the Mendez brothers, when they killed their parents, the first trial was a mistrial, and when they went back in, they got them for life without parole. So normally when you go back, attorneys say normally when you go back, it's pretty hard on because of the fact that if they're sending you back, there was some problem that they didn't solve it in the beginning. So again, I'm praying for the family and especially the grandmother, whoever's spending out the money, shelling out the money, because it does cost to have attorneys. And as I said, I know the attorneys, I can't say that they're happy that it's a mistrial. And in a way, I can say they are because, first of all, attorneys make money when they go and fight for you. And also, I can say that they're happy because he wasn't found guilty at this time. So it gives everyone more time. And it's just a really sad situation because the evidence was there and everything. But I still say they could have brought in more people that they were saying, like the DA said, well, what about bringing in the brother to find out where he was and find more out about that? So maybe, I mean, the defense attorney said that, and the DA said, well, how come they didn't bring him in? So now maybe they can get all that stuff together. Bring in all the people that you thought that you wanted to bring in the first trial. And it's going to be many, many more people coming for this trial because this time there will be a verdict and everybody will be watching. So that's where it is. It's a mistrial after 3 deadlocks, you guys. And I just wanted to keep you posted. So anyway, I thank you so much for tuning in to my audios. Sometimes I'll show my face, but basically when I just want to do a quick audio on something, I will. And so everybody can rest now. Everybody can sleep now. And the trial probably won't be until another month from now. But I know the district attorneys, I saw some tweet or something. I don't know if it was a tweet or a Facebook or something. It said that we will get justice. So they're not going to stop. They're not going to quit. And it's going to be a fight. And like I said, it's going to be more money shelled out from his grandparents. So I wonder how they feel about that because they've already shelled out enough money. But with that, I'm just going to pray that justice is done for everyone. Please click subscribe. I'm trying to get some subscribers, you guys. Please click subscribe and like. And we'll keep you posted. So now that this is on a blink, maybe some of my next videos, audios, will be about something else, another topic. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to click subscribe. Bye. Talk to you later.